Hey there folks, Paul the Airgun Reporter here. What I have in my hands is a brand new pre-charged pneumatic air rifle that's available in 17, 22, and 25 calibers. The subject of today's episode is the all-new Diana Outlaw. Folks, the first impression when you take the Diana Outlaw out of the box is that it's really lightweight. I put this baby on the scale and it weighs in at only 3 pounds. And if I know anything about Diana Airguns, and I know quite a bit, is that they make a lot of their stocks out of beech. It is a hardwood. It does have some shallow laser etched checkering on the forestock and the grip. But let me tell you, it's a natural pointer. This is really a grab and go hunting style rifle. Folks, the Diana Outlaw has a lot of features that many of us airgunners are looking for. It has a multi-shot magazine, side lever action, the fully rifled barrel is shrouded, and it also has a moderator to help keep your shots a little bit more quiet. One of the most important features of this pre-charged pneumatic airgun is that it has a built-in regulator, and hopefully that's going to keep our velocities consistent from shot to shot. Let's do some chrony testing and see how that's working. Okay, let's do some chrony testing with the 22 caliber Diana Outlaw. Looks like this gun is regulated. It doesn't say anything about that in the documentation, but we only got a few feet per second spread over, say, about 15 shots, 20 shots. And I'm hopeful that this will be giving us some pretty good consistency. I'll be using the JSB 16 grain jumbos. Let's go ahead and see what we get. Well, I passed about 36 shots over the chrony, and it seems like it fell off the reg after about 31 shots. But the first shot to the 31st shot, there was only a 10 foot per second extreme spread between those shots. And if you were to go out for an afternoon of hunting, you have 30 good shots before you have to fill up. All right, I am impressed. I like the fact that there is a milled Foster fitting on the end of the fill probe. I think a lot more manufacturers should do this. I'd like it even more if it was made from stainless steel. This one looks like it's made from brass, and that could wear out over time, more quickly than stainless steel. Folks, the Diana Outlaw has a 2-stage adjustable trigger. The first stage is adjustable for travel, the second stage is adjustable for sear engagement, and I think with a little bit of tweaking, this might become a respectable trigger. The first stage is a little bit heavy. My trigger finger can't quite tell where that first stage ends and the second stage begins. Let's go ahead and do some trigger testing and see what the pull weight is. Okay, after 5 pulls on our trusty Wheeler trigger gauge, the average was 15.1 ounces. All right, folks, we've now come to the fun part. This is what it's all about. This is where the rubber meets the road. We're gonna do some target testing and see how accurate the Diana Outlaw is. If it's not accurate, it's not worth your time. All new airguns, I don't care what the brand is or how much you paid for it, can benefit from an initial cleaning of the barrel. That's because these are shipped with special oils inside the barrel like cosmoline or some other derivative that is used to prevent rusting of the inside of the barrel. And you know, this can throw your shots off quite a bit, and I've learned from experience that if you want to avoid the frustrations of sighting in and getting the best groups possible you can with your new air rifle, clean that barrel as best you can. Okay, we all know finding the best ammo for your airgun can be really frustrating. A lot of manufacturers use the same pellet throughout research, development, and manufacturing, and that's great, and they can recommend that pellet to the end user. That's not the case with the Diana Outlaw, so I'm going to start with the best pellet I know of, the JSB Exacts. And if you wanted to work your way down from there and maybe find a box store pellet that only costs $8 a tin that shoots great out of the Outlaw, that's fantastic. You found yourself a great deal. In 17 caliber, the Outlaw's rotary magazine holds 13 pellets. In 22, 11, and in 25, it holds 9. The magazine design includes an O-ring, and that means you can't simply drop the pellets into the chamber. You kind of have to seat them. The scope I'm using on the Diana Outlaw is the Hawk Vantage. I think it pairs really well with the Diana Outlaw. If you're looking to keep your budget under a certain dollar amount, you can't go wrong with this scope. I'm using the same 16 grain JSB Diabolos for the accuracy testing, and that's because they gave me a very low extreme spread in my chronograph testing. Now, I'm not sorting these pellets. I'm kind of taking a look and making sure the skirts aren't damaged, and just dropping them into the chambers and then seating them. Alright, there's something pesky about the crossbolt safety on the Diana Outlaw, and that's because they didn't take out enough wood around the crossbolt safety here on the stock for you to gain access to it. You kind of have to put the tip of your finger or your fingernail in there to put it on and off safe. I'm glad that the engineers at Diana opted to put a side lever action on the Outlaw rather than a bolt action. Personally, I prefer a side lever. And if I were to have to describe what it's like to cycle each pellet on the Outlaw, I would have to say that, yeah, there's some mechanical resistance like on any other side lever airgun. And if I were to put it on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most difficult to cock and 1 being the easiest, I would have to say that the Outlaw is about a 6.5. And that number is based on several factors. One is the cocking effort to pull back the hammer. The second is the effort needed to push the bolt probe into the magazine, get that pellet into the breech, and to completely close the cocking lever. You know, some folks might say, hey, you know, Paulie, I found, you know, the Diana Outlaw's cocking effort to be, you know, a 4.5 or a 5. I don't know why you gave it a 6.5. That's just my experience. I think a lot of that effort, and it's not tremendous, has to do with the fact that there is an O-ring on the magazine that holds the pellet in place. And the bolt probe has to push the pellet past that O-ring into the breech, and there's some resistance there. It's not terrible. It's not a deal breaker by any means, but it's not as smooth as some other air guns. Just have to say that. Folks, it's apparent that Diana has their ear to the airgun industry and the community by including features once reserved for higher-end airguns into the sub-$500 Outlaw. Features like a built-in regulator that keeps velocities consistent from shot to shot over a useful range of about 30 shots per fill-up. The Outlaw's lightweight and multi-shot side lever action make it perfect for hunting small game. It also has a moderator for keeping your shots quiet for backyard shooting. Over the last couple of years, we've seen a blossoming market for sub-$500 air guns that have the features that all of us are looking for. Who knows what the future holds and who will reign king in the sub-$500 airgun market, but it looks like Diana is off to a good start. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and as always, shoot safe and have fun.